The FA-18 Hornet fights the wind like a wild animal, its wings trembling under the fury of the storm. Ahead lies the carrier deck, the only safe haven in a world of towering waves and roaring thunder. One wrong move, and the ocean will claim it. An Etihad Airways Boeing 787 Dreamliner taxied back to the runway after a sudden technical alert forced the crew to abort departure. Passengers stayed calm as emergency vehicles lined the tarmac. Within moments, the aircraft came to a safe stop. The tense situation resolved with professional precision. Through sheets of rain, a Turkish Airlines Airbus A330 fought crosswinds as it approached the runway. Water splashed high from the landing gear while visibility dropped to near zero. Passengers gripped their armrests as the jet touched down, the roar of engines mixing with the pounding storm. Moments later, the aircraft slowed safely, proving the crew's skill in extreme weather. From the cockpit of an Airbus A320, the runway stretched ahead, slick with ice and snow. The pilots focused on the instruments, adjusting controls to keep the jet aligned. Snow whipped past the windshield as the aircraft's wheels touched down, sliding slightly before gripping the frozen surface. Moments later, the jet slowed safely, completing a challenging winter landing. From the window of a Southwest Airlines Boeing 737, city lights shimmered below as the aircraft descended through the darkness. Raindrops streaked across the glass, distorting the glow of runway lights ahead. The engines roared as the plane touched down, tires splashing water into the night air. Seconds later, the jet slowed smoothly, ending a tense but safe arrival. Through the cockpit windows of an Airbus A320, the runway lights emerged faintly from the dense fog. The pilots, guided mostly by instruments, kept the approach steady. At the last moment, the full runway came into view, and the aircraft touched down smoothly. In near-zero visibility, precision flying turned a risky arrival into a safe landing. Battling fierce crosswinds, a Turkish Airlines Airbus A330 approached the runway at a sharp angle. The main wheels struck the tarmac with a burst of smoke as the aircraft's wings flexed under the gusts. Passengers felt the jolt, but the pilots kept full control, straightening the jet before it slowed safely, ending a dramatic landing. 4 F-16 Fighting Falcons sliced through the sky in perfect formation, their landing gear lowered for approach. The roar of their engines echoed across the airfield as they descended in unison. Against the backdrop of white clouds, the precision and discipline of the pilots shone through, showcasing the power and coordination of a combat-ready squadron. A Cathay Pacific Airbus A350 glided along the taxiway under bright skies at Hong Kong International Airport. The sleek wingtip and smooth fuselage reflected the midday sun as the aircraft made its way to the terminal. In the distance, rows of jets stood ready, the bustling hub framed by green mountains and the city's skyline. An Emirates Boeing 777 descended onto a rain-slick runway, its main wheels striking the surface with a burst of spray. Water trailed behind as the engines roared in reverse thrust. Despite the slippery conditions, the wide-body jet slowed steadily, the crew maintaining perfect control through the challenging landing. A Thomas Cook Airlines Airbus A330 touched down hard, its right main gear drifting off the paved surface and kicking up a cloud of dust. Crosswinds pushed the wide-body jet toward the edge of the runway, but the pilots quickly corrected course. Moments later, the aircraft was back under full control, averting a potential runway incident. A Pegasus Airlines Airbus A320 battled crosswinds as it touched down, the nose swinging slightly into the gusts. Dust swirled up from the runway edges, and the wings flexed under the pressure. With steady hands, the pilots corrected the drift, guiding the jet firmly onto the centerline for a safe rollout. From the cockpit of a Boeing 747, the runway stretched ahead, lights guiding the giant aircraft toward touchdown. The captain made small control adjustments, aligning the jet perfectly with the center line. Below, the scenery blurred past as the aircraft descended steadily, moments away from a smooth and precise landing.
40, 30, 20, 10.
An F-15 Eagle screamed down toward the runway, its arrestor hook lowered. As the wheels touched down, a burst of sparks flew when the hook caught the cable, rapidly slowing the jet. The maneuver, used for short or emergency landings, showcased the precision and skill of the pilot in a high-intensity situation. In the remote expanse of Antarctica, a Boeing 787 Dreamliner touched down on an icy runway, sending a cloud of snow billowing into the crisp air. The frozen surface demanded precise handling as the wide-body jet slowed, its engines humming against the silence of the white wilderness. It was a rare and remarkable landing at the bottom of the world. In the darkness of a foggy night, a helicopter hovered low over the water, its searchlights slicing through the mist. The beam swept across the waves, illuminating patches of the surface as the aircraft maneuvered cautiously. Somewhere below, a mission unfolded. Whether rescue or patrol, the scene carried an air of urgency and precision. From the window of a Qatar Airways Airbus, a 380, the massive wings stretched outward, flaps extended in preparation for departure. The world's largest passenger aircraft began to taxi, its four engines humming with quiet power. As the terminal slipped away behind, anticipation grew for the giant's graceful climb into the skies. An Aeroflot Boeing 777 swept low over the beach, its massive frame skimming just above the heads of onlookers. The roar of its engines sent waves of hot air rippling across the sand as it lined up for the runway just beyond the fence. For beachgoers, it was a breathtaking and thunderous moment they wouldn't forget. A small single-engine aircraft descended gracefully, aligning perfectly with the narrow runway. The instant its wheels kissed the asphalt, a puff of smoke erupted from the tires, marking the transition from flight to ground. In moments, the plane rolled steadily forward, slowing under the bright midday sky. The quiet hum of the engines filled the cabin as the spoilers rose from the wing, disrupting the smooth airflow. Far below, a blanket of clouds stretched endlessly, while the horizon glowed faintly under the high-altitude sun.